Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Um, so today I just figured what I would do is show you guys how you can kind of grow your business quickly off of just doing advertising on Facebook or some of the other job sites like Indeed or Monster, even Craigslist. They're usually the least expensive. Well, Facebook obviously is free. Basically, all we did was create a Facebook page that's a business, and you could just create that as your name as your business, or we can use the millennial marketing for yourself or Equus or whatever you want to do. We just kind of have the system in place for millennial to easily get you guys logos and all that kind of stuff in place. Basically, all we did was we created a Facebook page or an advertisement, which I'll put online for you guys on the website. I'll create a recruiting tab that just kind of advertises full time and part time employees needed in a certain area. We're using Wilmington area today for the most part. I did have a couple that came up for Horry County, which we'll call them anyway and see what it's about. Um, so what I do basically is I'll create a sheet like this, which I'll put on, and this is just a questionnaire that I use to go through with the people that I'm talking to. I'm just kind of gauging interest right now. This is more of a um, targeted throw things against the wall and see if it sticks kind of thing, but I'll just go over a few of these questions with them. And the goal is to get them into the ICA at Equus, to send them over an email with the independent contractor agreement that they'll sign and gets them into the system. I'll then follow it up with an email link to the discount code for the class. And they just kind of stay on top of them and track them from there. All of these steps I'll have on the recruiting page so that you guys can go through it and kind of save if you want. But honestly, especially with people being able to work remote, there's next to no reason why you guys shouldn't be doing the same thing. To create a free business page on Facebook, advertise a job, post it on your personal page, the same kind of thing at on Indeed or on Craigslist. You can hire all over the country in areas that we might have leads or areas that you might want to work people with. Let them know that they can work remotely right now, and then quickly get 5 to 10 people under you. When you're recruiting this way, you're not going to get as many people that stick around, but you're just kind of looking for 1 or 2 per week that'll stick around and write some business for you. So what I did is I print out this list, and then I keep a schedule of the interviews, and I try to line up every 15 minutes. And today I'll be doing 5 in a row. I'll print out their resumes because even on Facebook, it'll send a resume to them. When I get a resume from them, I will message them back, tell them thanks for their interest, what time works for you. And if I know I'm going to be doing my cold market dialings like today on Monday, I'll give them 15-minute increments, and then I'll just line it up from there. People will respond really quickly if as soon as you get the applicant from or the information from them or their resume, if you respond right away, they'll typically send you a response quickly, so you can kind of book up your morning or your afternoon very, very easily. Then basically the way you want to look at it is when you're setting up your schedule is set up the time you're going to have for your dialing for money making, as far as your leads, the times you're going to book appointments, and then set aside some time to do this kind of work, because this is what's going to build your wealth. You're going to get your quick money from making your sales as an agent, but you want to work on your long-term wealth building, get to sales manager, 2 people under you writing business, because you get a 10% bump in pay. That means you're going to make 10% of everything that they write. And then again, within the millennial system that we're developing, you're not going to have to do much. You find these people, say, hey, look, I hired, John Doe in Maryland. Can you give us some help with them? And then what I'll do is I'll plug them into the system, get them moving for you, and then before you know, you'll be making some money. So if you guys can just type any questions that you have. I've got my first call in about 5 minutes. So any questions that you might have, again, this is the first live, so I honestly don't even know that it's working properly. So any comments or questions would be great. Otherwise, in just a couple minutes, I'll make our first dials. I had posted the ad for people with licenses just because it's so tough to get people into class. But we have some people that responded that don't have licenses, which is fine. I just let them know, hey, try to get through it in a week or two, and then it costs them $25 with the discount code that I email them. So while they're on lockdown, like everybody is, they can get through their class, and then afterwards, we can get them moving and making sales. Like I said, I schedule maybe 15 minutes apart. I think I had 5 lined up. I do have a little break between the 10:30 time. I'm sorry, the 10:15 time and 10:45. So that'll be a good time to ask any questions that you might have. And then after that, we'll have the Equus call. I'll tell you the areas that I'm looking at right now would be definitely the Maryland, St. George's area. There are a ton of A leads in that area. If you're looking to go up there, especially being able to work remotely, I would start buying leads there now and working it remotely. Put an ad out for that area on Craigslist or Indeed. Work to get somebody going up there so that they can work the inventory leads you build up. And there's several of these all over the country. And being able to work remotely and then being able to hire this way, you're really going to increase your odds of getting somebody that sticks around for a while, because the quicker you can get A leads into somebody's hands, the longer they're going to stick around. So if you don't have, access to Opt, which is our lead system, just shoot me an email, text, let me know, and we'll make sure you have, access to Opt. You can look around the country, see where there's some A leads that tend to be always there. Maybe pick some up for yourself, make your dials. If you have a license there, make your dials, make some money, set a ad up like this, work to get somebody hired that can then work those leads after they get licensed and everything. And that's generally the system we're approaching now. Right now, I'm looking to hire for one of our agents who needs help in the Wilmington area. So that's part of what we're trying to do for you guys, is to let you guys go out and sell. And if you get bogged down, you got too many leads coming in, your area is too large and you need some help, we'll make these dials and calls for you so that you can hopefully get some people under you to relieve some of the stress of having to go, 10 counties over. All right, so let's make our first dial.
Please leave your message for 20157562210.
Hey, Denise, this is Brian Nicely. I was just calling you about the insurance job. We had an appointment at 9:30. Just give me a call back when you can. I will actually be out of pocket until probably around noon today. My number is 843-591-2205. Thanks. And because it is cold market, some of these people will read the ad, post something, and then forget about the appointment or change their mind. So you're going to have to just know that, just like your leads, when you're calling to set appointments, you're going to get that same kind of thing with these. And it's really just a numbers game. And then I'll make a note on their application that they were no answer. And usually that's a red flag to me that they're not going to be reliable. I'll give them a chance to call me back, but honestly, they kind of moved to the back of my stack. that'll put us a little ahead of the game because then I'll call this next one a little earlier. Right now, I don't have them scheduled until 9:45. Some of the questions on the form that I ask are if they have felonies or not. Generally, if they do have a felony, it's really hard to get them licensed. Even if they can get licensed in the state, a lot of our carriers like GPM won't contract them. So it's just tough. And honestly, I don't want to spend a lot of time going through people with felonies just because it is such a pain. I'll ask them if it's full time or part time that they're interested in. And then I like to ask them what interested them about the position. What I'm looking to hear is, that I can work for myself, that I'm self-motivated and I'm interested in passive income. I'm just kind of looking for those answers just to kind of see what they have to say about it. I've asked them if they ever worked in sales before, and honestly, the yes or no doesn't make a difference to me. If they've been in 1099 work before, I do like to kind of hear that because then I know that they have worked for themselves before in the past or in sales or jobs that relied on just commission. I asked them if they're okay getting paid on only commissions because that's what this job is. I asked them what about this position they think would be difficult for them. I don't have a car. It'll be hard for me to drive, get to places, or, I'm a single parent. I'm just kind of looking to see what the hurdles would be for them with their job or with this job. And then I ask them how much income they need per month because that's going to help me gauge how many leads they're going to need in order to make the income that they want. And I give them realistic expectations. You want to make $5,000 per month. Okay, great. Well, that means you're going to need to go and sit with, 8 to 10 people. That means you're going to need to make X amount of dials and so on and so forth. And then I like to ask them if they have any questions. So I want to know what questions they're asking me. If they seem disengaged or they're just, oh, no, I don't have any questions. I feel like they don't necessarily get what we're doing or that they don't have that much interest. And then I kind of give them a rating. I have a rating system on here, 1 through 10, just for mine. It has nothing to do with, anything other than how I felt about them. And generally what I would do is set up an in-person follow-up interview with them, but that's just not going to happen with how things are now. So I'll just plug them into that and I'll give them the rundown of what's going to happen. That you're going to be getting an email from Equus. That's going to be your ICA. I explain the ICA to them. They're going to send it back. And then once they send it back, I'll send them the class code email. So, I plug them into the Equus system with their information. They get the ICA. Once they have it signed, I can see that on the Equus dashboard. Then I send them the code for the class. And then I'll kind of check on them, at the end of the week to see if they got started with the class, and then so on and so forth. And then with the new Millennial website, after they get their license, I can say, okay, great, go to the new agent training center and then go through their step-by-step. So they're going to go through and get all the training that they need in order to get started. That's going to take a huge weight off of your guys' shoulders if you're able to just say, okay, go start the training on the Millennial site. You don't have to worry about answering a whole bunch of questions. Well, how do I get leads? What's my script? That's all right there on the website. So I'm trying to make that as easy as possible for people to get started. I'll be putting some training videos on there shortly as well. All right, so about 5 more minutes and I'll call the next person. So this next person came off of the Indeed ad. The first one came off of Facebook. I do kind of like to track how many people answered, and I do not like to schedule interviews too far out. Again, you got to approach the cold market recruiting a lot like you would approach making dials for leads. The further you set it out, the more likely you're going to get no-shows. And then I try to keep it short. I don't get into long, in-depth conversations with people. I'm just kind of looking to put as many people into contracting as possible to see who rises to the top. You know, we've got 2 or 3 on the team so far that have come from Indeed that are killers, or that are going to be killers, that get it. You've just got to go through the numbers to find them. And if you don't have any leads to call on, or you've called through all your leads, or you've just got the time on your hands, this is something that everybody should be doing. Posting that Facebook ad, again, just create a business profile for yourself. You can use the millennial logos if you want to look more professional. Equus does have some rules behind using their branding. If you want to use theirs, you can just look through those rules and see what you got to do there. I'll post on the Facebook page the ad that we put on that gets a good response. And Facebook's going to drive you 3 to 5 a week. Indeed's going to get you more than you could possibly handle. Sometimes they're a little tougher to get approved on. Craigslist, anybody can do it, and that'll get you plenty of leads as well. I don't think, but that's maybe $10 or $15 to get that ad posted, and then just kind of put this system in place. All right, do we have any questions? All right, give it just a couple more minutes. I'm going to review the application. I always review it before I call them. I review their, what do you want to call this thing? Their resume. And again, I'm not looking for anybody, anything in particular. I mean, our most successful people didn't come from an insurance background or even a sales background. It's more or less something to talk to them about for their small talk in the beginning. Big thing is you just want people that sound excited. You want to put your effort and time into them. Then just plug them into the millennial system, and I'll take care of the rest of it for you. And if you guys need help figuring out how to set up a Facebook ad or a business profile, again, just text me and let me know. And I'll help you guys get that up. Hey, there's Bobby. Good morning, Bobby. All right, about 5 minutes, I'll make my second call. The first one was a no answer. All right, so again, I'm just going through the questionnaire that I have printed out that I'll put on the website with them. I try to keep it short, scheduling 15 minutes apart so that I can kind of keep things moving along. We do get a little bit of downtime if somebody is a no answer, but that's okay. We'll just answer any questions that you might have. So the next one is Crystal. Okay, her phone number is not wrote down. So she didn't put her number down on the resume, so now I'm just looking it up.
Please leave your message for.
All right, so that one's straight to voicemail, but I'm a little early, so I'll wait a couple minutes to call that one. And again, it's just like going through your leads. You're going to get some hang-ups, some voicemails because they don't recognize the number. They'll forgot that they filled out the application online. You'll get all those same excuses. Again, you're just going through the numbers. The first one, Jeffrey, that I went through was through Facebook. This one is through Indeed. I don't find any difference in any of them. Indeed will get you more for sure. But again, it costs money, and it's sometimes they require you to have a physical location. But you could do it through Craigslist or I think Glassdoor. The Facebook I'm just now playing around with, and we've gotten 4 or 5 off of Facebook. I think that's where all of you guys should start, is just by creating a personal business page. You can use our branding, as I've already said. If you want to kind of look more professional, I can give you the headers and the banners for it, and then just put a good looking headshot of you as your profile picture. And then just keep that up to date. Keep posting on that as far as just insurance goes. Think of yourself as a business, and then create a job post on Facebook. It's free. It could be targeted. You'll get the resumes. I mean, I think that's going to be a lot of power in Facebook, especially with the tools that we can give you. Craigslist, I think, is anywhere between $10 and $20 to post on there. So I would go Facebook first, then maybe Craigslist. Give her a couple more minutes and try again. So some of the names you're going to hear coming up here soon, just on our leaderboards and stuff, as they're coming out of just now getting started with contract licensing. 2 or 3 of those guys, they came from Indeed. So it's definitely something that you want to look into, is this online cold market recruiting. It's all about the system you put in place to make yourself efficient. And I'll put that system up there, and it's just stacking up 5 to 10 appointments for a morning, going through 15 minutes, plugging them in, getting those numbers. Do that once or twice a week, every week, and then you'll be really rolling. But you don't want to do this in place of your warm market recruits. That's where your big guns are going to come from, sitting in front of the home, just making sure you're saying, hey, during this time especially, there's a huge need for agents each house that you're sitting in. If you know of anybody that needs extra money, if they can do what I just did with you guys, would you let me know? Can you give me a few names? And always be doing that. I mean, I think all of us should have, by the end of the month, put an extra 10 people under us. It's super, super doable, especially if you implement this cold market recruiting style. And the beauty of these is you didn't pay for the lead, so if they don't answer, who cares? All right, we're going to give her a couple more seconds. All right, let's try her again.
Please leave your message for.
Okay, so I'll write on that one, went to voicemail. I won't even leave a voicemail. Put a note on that, and again, it goes back to the stack. And generally what I would do too, especially if this wasn't a live training, is I would stack multiple appointments on top of each other. I've got a list of, I probably got 20 more applicants that I didn't even send messages to, because I just didn't want to get too bogged down trying to do this training on top of trying to do all this. So I just set up 5, but I've got no less than 20 other applicants I could message to get. So, I can sit here and do this all day long, every single day of the week. So got another 15 minutes or so before my next one. Any kind of questions, just type them out. It doesn't even have to be related to this. Let's just kind of fill this time up some. Have any of y'all created a business page for yourself on Facebook? Do you guys know? Do you guys know how to do it? Have you ever looked into it? All right, so I'll do a training video on that. It's really simple. It's usually after you log in, there's a create a business page, and it won't let me share the screen and live stream, or I'd show you, but it's really simple. Let me see if I can find it. So there's a plus button. Once you log in, up beside your profile picture, there's a plus button, and there's a one underneath that says page, that you just can create that page, and that's going to make yourself a business page. And then you kind of go through and you put what you want to put in those fields. You can rip the banner from our page if you want to use that, or create your own. And then from there, after you've got that all created, populate some things in there, into the post and all that kind of stuff. And then after you create that on your Facebook page, it'll say add job post, and you can make a job post from there. It's 3 or 4 steps. It's really easy. And the Facebook ads don't come quite as quickly. You can boost it and pay for it, and that'll help them come more quickly. It's a little bit more organic, but again, it's free. And it doesn't have to be geared towards your private or your business page. Doesn't have to be geared towards recruiting. I would gear it towards insurance, so that you can start reaching out to your warm market with it. Say, after you create your page, it'll ask you to share it with your friends. And if you've got it populated with, your bio, why you're in insurance, all that kind of stuff, you can hopefully start to get some warm market sales from your Facebook page. But you can also use that to do the recruiting out of. Our personal page is more towards recruiting. I've set that up on the recruiting side, just because that's kind of more of what I'm focusing on. But I would definitely use it for the sales side as well. Most of y'all could probably go ahead and do that now if you're not driving around, and listen in between calls. And that way, if you have any questions on how to set it up while we're doing this, you can ask me. So after you've logged in, I think it's easier from a computer if you have one, but you definitely don't have to use a computer. And then what I'll do on the website, I'll create a recruiting tab, and I might call it hiring rather than recruiting. And then under that, I'll put this entire system that I'm doing down so that you guys can easily follow it. Sturgis just texted me to let me know that there's severe weather all over the East Coast. He was just telling me that it's overloading the cell towers this weather, so it might be why we're having trouble getting a hold of people. But we'll keep going. Cool. All right, so I'm going to step aside real quick, grab something. My next one. Are you guys trying to set up Facebook pages now? Man, this guy's done a lot. And what I'm looking for primarily right now is a part-timer. That's what we like to do, is start people out part-time rather than full-time, unless they just got, they have no reason to need money right now. Basically, you want somebody that has an income already coming in so they don't feel the stress and the pressure of making sales, which bottlenecks it. People end up doing desperate things like just writing bad policies on people to get quick money. And that could roll up to you if they cancel. So part-timers that have an income coming in, regardless of where it's at, if they've got a good schedule, they could do this 1 or 2 or 3 nights a week or on the weekends. That's the ideal candidate for a job like this for now, because they just don't have that stress. And then after that part-time income reaches where their full-time income is, then they can have the conversation about quitting and doing this full-time. It's just something I'm much more comfortable with, unless they have a big background in insurance already and they can get moving because they know what the products are and they don't have to go through that training curve. So part-timers or people with insurance licenses already that are just looking for something better, because Equus does have the best system out there. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. And more specifically right now, just in the Wilmington area, again, because one of our agents is in need of people. And what I'll do is I put them direct to us until they get their 3 apps, until they're qualified, and then I'll move them under you. That's just going to help me train them a little bit better, making sure that you guys don't have anything bad rolling up to you. It just kind of protects you guys a little bit. After they've wrote 3 apps, you're a qualified unique writer, and that's what you really want. Qualified unique writer, somebody that's wrote 3 apps direct to you. All right, let's try this guy a little bit early. Can you guys hear the phone ringing when it rings? I've rigged this. So I just want to make sure it's working properly before I make this dial. Can you hear the phone ringing and their voicemail pickup?
Hello?
Hey, Jonathan.
Yes.
Hey, man, it's Brian Nicely. How you doing?
Doing good. How you doing?
Good. Sorry, I called you a little bit early, but I'm ahead of schedule.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
We just had a storm, our power's out, so you're good.
Yeah, I'm in Myrtle Beach, and man, it has been howling.
I swear, it's been terrible.
So you having to quarantine yourself in?
You already know, man. The government got us messed up, man.
Yeah, dude, I know.
I ain't complaining about that stimulus check, though, so.
Oh, did you already get yours?
I did.
Oh, man. You might be the only one I've talked to that's got one.
I was just chilling. I was honestly kind of worried about when I was going to get it. I was just chilling last night, and it came up on my phone, and I was like, bet.
That's awesome. Well, tell me, you ever done anything like this before? Looked into any kind of sales?
I mean, there's this little local shop that I used to work at, and I worked there for 2 years, and it's kind of like my spot to stay to. And I sold anything from motors to lawnmowers and stuff like that. So I've always actually enjoyed like doing sales and stuff like that. So it's always been something that like I enjoy doing. I've never looked into kind of like internet sales or anything like that, or over the phone cold calls and stuff like that. But I've always enjoyed selling stuff, and make sure the customer gets the best that they can get, while me also, everybody, make sure everybody's satisfied.
I got you. Okay, and you're doing your manager right now at Wendy's.
I was, but I had to leave because of the stress, man. Like, because I would go in there and it'd be like 2 people for a whole shift, and I mean, in fast food you gotta have like at least 4, 5 people. Even you should really have about 6 or 7. But I mean, at the end of the day, I was just like, this isn't worth it for me right now to be killing myself.
No, I got you. What just a quick question. Do you have any felonies?
I do not. I'm clean.
Okay. Are you okay with like, commission only sales?
I mean, I'm down for anything, honestly. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
I think that provides more of incentive for me to be like, hey, I need to be doing this, getting these sales done, because if I'm not getting sales, then I'm not making money.
That's right. Okay. Have you ever worked for yourself before?
I have not. I mean, I make music too on the side, or I'm trying to get right back into it more than I was. And so I've done like, beat sales and stuff like that, to where I've had to kind of focus my energy and time on that.
I gotcha. You looking for like more of a full-time or a part-time kind of gig?
I'm looking for full-time, but I mean, whatever you can offer, I mean, I'm glad to accept.
Okay, I'm just taking some notes. Of everything you read about the position, what interested you the most?
Honestly, the opportunity to be able to, really be self-sufficient, and not really, honestly, the work from home aspect, because I mean, I don't have like really reliable transportation right now, so it's like easier for me to be able to work from home and stuff like that. So that was one thing. That was really the main thing. But also, having that opportunity to better myself in the communication kind of sector of like, making themselves and networking and stuff like that, and just bettering myself, really.
Okay.
And then of course the money, but
yeah. What about? Well, here, let me explain a little bit about what we do. So right now, what we do is we work with 2 different segments of the population. One is people that have just received new mortgages, whether it be a refinance or bought a brand new home. Our company mails to them. They fill out the form and they mail it back to us. From there, we purchase the leads. If it's a brand new lead, or it could be a 2-year-old lead, whichever, just it's cost dependent if you want to spend a lot of money or not a lot of money. But the way we start out our agents is we hand them a bucket of leads. They're older leads. They might have been worked over a little bit, but what it is it's grounds to get you. So it's like a boot camp. It puts you through the ringer. You're going to make some sales, some good money off of those leads if you put in the work. But we understand that they're older leads, but it's not costing somebody a lot of money to give to you. So we want you to go through the no's and go through all those kind of things first off of those. The job typically is not a work from home job, meaning that we're field underwriters. So with life insurance, we go out and visit with people in their homes and sit with them. And then from there, we write their policies up. But because of the coronavirus, what it has afforded us is that the insurance companies are allowing us to do this through telesales. So we can either do it over the phone or through like Zoom or FaceTime. And it's allowing us to really work from anywhere in the country and sell anywhere in the country.
Awesome.
So what we're trying to do is we've got a pretty big need in the Wilmington area. We have an agent that's up and running full time there, but he's gotten bogged down. So I'm looking to give him some help. So ideally, you can do this from home. Hopefully we can do this for a while. We don't know when it's going to end. It could always stay this way. We just don't know. But what we're trying to do is get people up and running as quickly as we can. So understanding that, you get paid around an average of $500 to $1,000 per sale. That's about the commission, and the carriers themselves, the insurance carriers, pay that to you. So you're not working, you're working with the insurance carriers, getting paid by them, and you're getting trained in using our system and our leads to grow your business. So essentially what we're trying to do is train up agents that are successful and have a good, healthy business of their own. On top of that, you can qualify for bonuses off of your sales. And then the best part about this whole business is the passive income opportunity, in that, once you get up and going, if you know people that could help us out as well, and we'll train them just like we would you can earn money off of everything that they sell. So the potential for passive income is enormous in this business, other than you just having to go out and sit in homes and make sales. So there's a lot of ways to make money with what we do.
Okay.
So knowing that, what do you think would be difficult for you about this job?
Honestly, I think every job's going to have, its obstacles. I think the hardest part would be the idea of, you work really hard with this lead and stuff like that, and then it just doesn't work out. Taking that rejection is going to be, tough, but there's always failures when it comes to past success. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that just, acclimating to that aspect of, so you're going to hear no, because this is the reality of the situation, especially now in the economy, the way it's going. That's just the reality of the situation. So being able to, deal with that no, it's not going to be tough, but that's just it's kind of hard sometimes, you know what I mean? Because you're really looking forward to the sale, or you know that maybe this sale is going to make or break you this week or whatever. You know, you might be.
Well, and the goal is, the way we train you, is to not have to have your whole week hinge on one sale. It's to set yourself up successfully for the week, to where you know that if I'm going to go sit or talk to 10 people, I'm going to make 5 sales, $2,500 to $3,000, to where you're not everything hinges on one plan. It's the people that don't do the activity. Our activity is making dials. So calling on the leads is our biggest activity. If you're not going through and setting yourself up to win, then you're going to struggle that way. But the people that put in the hard work and get through the no's on the phone, learn how to handle objections, they do really well with this.
Okay.
How much do you need per month to make?
How much do I need to make? I would say, what I was making I'd like to make at least, somewhere from 12 to 15 a month, which I'm sure, like you said, if I can be actually, proactive and take that initiative and making them sales, then I'd be well aware of that. So,
so that's 3 sales. So you need to make 3 sales a month. To do 3 sales a month, all you got to do is you got to sit with 6 people. The average full-time agent we look is to sit between 10 and 15 people per week. So there's next to no reason you don't make this kind of income, as long as you stay coachable and do the work that we say you need to do in order to make the money that you make. In this industry, the numbers have been the numbers for a century. You talk to X amount of people, out of those people, X amount are going to buy. And out of the ones that buy, you're going to make X amount of money. That formula stays true. The only factor in that formula not working out is, did you do the work you should have done? So it's pretty straightforward. Do you have your life insurance license now?
I do not. But it's something that would be, if I would have to get it, of course, but definitely something I'd be interested in.
Okay. So is this something you want to do? You think you want to give it a shot?
I definitely want to give it a shot. Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to ask you a few questions. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'll put that information and I'll put it into what we call our independent contracting agreement. That's an ICA. That's going to come from a company called Equus Financial. They're our parent company who we've partnered with. They kind of handle all the contracting with the carriers and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to put you into their system. The independent contractor agreement, basically what that states is, what you are building is your business. What you're building is your business and nobody else's. So if you choose to leave, you get to take it and all that kind of stuff. So get that signed. After we see that you sign that, I'm going to send you over the code for the class. It's only going to cost you $20 to get through the class. I tell people to try to get through it in a week or 2 at most. So especially during this time where nobody's working, is every ounce of time that you have to get through the class. And then once the testing centers open back up, schedule your state test as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Then from there, after you pass your state test, you're going to go and get background check with the state. And then after that comes back, you'll get what's called your producer number, which is your legal license number with the state. And then we'll start getting you contracted with the carriers. Sounds like a lot, but the goal is to get you in and through this in 3 weeks or less.
Right. right. What was that number called again? I'm taking notes as well.
Producer number.
Producer.
So it'd be your North Carolina producer number.
All right. Making beats out here.
Yeah. And I'll send you an email too that'll outline most of this.
Okay.
So yeah, sign that ICA. It should get to you by the end of the day. If it's not, this is my cell phone. You can text or call me back, and I'll make sure it gets there.
Okay.
And then from there, get into that class. I'll check on you every couple of days to make sure you're get through it all right. And all you're trying to do here is memorize. You're not trying to learn.
That's perfect.
Right.
I have a great memory.
Yeah. Because we use hardly any of this in the actual field. What we do in the field is very scripted and very regimented and has nothing to do with most of the stuff you're going to learn in the class. You'll learn some good terminology, but other than that, you're just trying to memorize it to get through it. And so just do that as quickly as you can.
Okay.
All right, man. Well, do you have any questions for me?
I don't. I do want to say I appreciate the opportunity, and I look forward to doing this.
Yep. So you're going to get 2 emails. One's going to come from Equus. Equus, again, is our parent company. You'll get another email from us. Our agency under them is called the Millennial Agency. So you'll get another email from me kind of explaining more of this process. But store this number. My name's Brian. Anything you need, period, call me and let me know. Any little question you have, it's my job to make sure you get through this as quick as possible so you're not any kind of bother or anything like that. I will also add you to our Facebook group page and our GroupMe page. GroupMe is kind of like a Twitch in a way, or a Slack. Just kind of our day-to-day, everybody kind of talking to each other. So I'll add you to those 2 groups so that you can kind of see what other agents are doing and get in on some of the trainings that we have.
Okay, awesome.
All right, buddy. Well, you stay safe. And like I said, if you don't hear from Equus by the end of the day, text me and let me know so I can get right on that.
I sure will. I appreciate it, Brian.
You got it, man. Stay safe.
Man. Be careful out there.
You too.
All right.
Bye. All right. So then from there, I'll so just like that. So that's one that'll sign an ICA and he'll get that back signed in. Whether or not he does well, we don't know, but we got one that'll sign the ICA. The questions he asks were perfect. The answers he told me were what I'm looking for. The opportunity to be self-sufficient. That's what you really want, is somebody that's not going to need hand-holding. The opportunity to work for himself. And even though he doesn't have reliable transportation right now, that's not that big of a deal since we can work from home. He likes the fact that he only gets paid for the work he does. So all in all, those questions that he was looking for were awesome. The big one was only needing $1,200, $1,500 per month. That's 2 or 3 sales for the whole month. So we can get him started as long as he stays as motivated as he seems. He should be a good one that sticks around for a while. So what I'll do from there is I will just staple his application to that form that I filled out. And then I'll put a note to put in ICA. And put that to the side, and then wait for the 10:15 one. And then I'll go through at the end of each one of these sections or sessions that I do and put them into the Equus website so that they get their contracting. And then I also track that on a spreadsheet. I have a system to where I track as they move through the whole system. I'll put a blank one of those online as well. It's a Google sheet that lets me know when I've sent over the ICA, lets me know when I've received it, and it tracks them all the way through making their first sale. Because when you're doing big batches of this, it's easy to get lost. So I do that to easily track. And again, I'll put the sample one of ours on the website with a blank one that you guys can download for yourselves. Any questions off of that one? I'm trying to mute out their personal information. I swung the thing around, but I'll have to figure out another way to mute it. Maybe I can unplug. Another thing I always try to tell people is to make sure that they stay coachable. The people that feel like they know it all, those aren't the people you're looking for, because you end up butting heads with them. Not that we have all the answers, but we've been successful in it, and we have the ear of the people that have been extremely successful. So and again, that took 10 minutes, 10-minute conversation. And, who knows, we could have somebody that produces $10,000 a month. That'll be, that'll be an extra 1,000 to 1,500 for whoever he's directly under per month for just sitting there doing nothing. All right, so let's call up Eugene. So I'm just going through my settings real quick. All right, let's call him Eugene.
Hello?
Hey, Eugene.
Yes.
Hey, it's Brian Nicely. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
Good. You on lockdown?
I guess you could call it that. We can go to the grocery store if we want to, but
I got
I'm
you.
not really sure what to make of it.
I know, and who knows how long it's going to go on for.
Well, I don't know. I was just looking at this website that shows new cases in North Carolina. It looks like the past couple of days have come down steadily. We're down under 100 for yesterday.
That's good.
And we were up over 200, well over 200 a couple 3 days ago. Looks like the top line, new cases.
Yeah, that's what I saw this morning, was hopefully we're coming down.
Well, it looks like you're starting to flatline a little bit, hopefully.
Yeah, I got you. All right, so you are a part-time instructor, accident, sickness, and health life, huh?
Well, I wear a couple of different hats. I'm a retired school teacher. I work part-time with University of Mount Olive as an adjunct with the music department, and I work with the community college here in Wilmington, Cape Fear Community College. I teach the pre-license course for life accident, sickness, and health. I work with Blue Cross Blue Shield for about 10 years, and I work with Woodman of the World and Colonial Life, and primarily since I retired about 12 years ago.
I got you. So do you know when the testing centers are going to be opening back up?
I don't. I tell you, they don't tell us a lot. We've had pretty good success with people doing well with the state exams, but when we try to communicate with them, to help us so that we can do a little bit better job, they're not very
cooperative. So the only thing I know is what I can get from NCDOI, and that's not really telling me a lot.
No. So are you guys doing like online trainings now, or are you guys just pretty much shut down?
It's pretty much come to a halt. So I don't know where it's going. Last course finished in was it February, March? Finished in March. Yeah, and so I mean we got classes scheduled to begin, but who knows if this is going to happen or not? Over the next couple of months.
Right.
They talked to me about the possibility of teaching online with them. I don't know. Just watching for their cues to see what happens.
Yeah. So hurry up and wait. I tell you what, though, for what we do for the sales side of it, most of the carriers have gone to allowing us to do it over Zoom or telesales, and it's kind of completely changed the way we do business. Because usually, as field underwriters, we would go into the homes, and this has just kind of made it a whole lot simpler for us.
Well, I can see where it might. It certainly would save you on gas money, wouldn't it?
Yeah, especially the ones of us that drive a couple hours away.
Yeah.
It's just kind of getting the people 70 years old to figure out how to use Zoom. That can be a little bit of a.
Well, that's the problem with Zoom. I know with the university we've had to go online, and we've had pretty good luck with it because the kids, younger students, they know how to use it. But in trying to communicate with in all honesty, even with other staff members who are my age or older, it's been kind of a challenge.
Yeah. I think out of this, if anything, more and more people will just know how to use it, be familiar.
Yeah. It's been an eye opener, it has.
Well, let me ask you, since, you've got such a big background on it, what interested you in kind of what we had?
Continuing to stay engaged. I'm not looking for part-time work or a situation where I'm constantly reporting to somebody or something like that. I was just thinking a situation where I could pick up some business on occasion, when I had the time. I was with Blue Cross Blue Shield, and the Affordable Care Act closed a lot of things down gradually over a period of time, and I finally just decided, to let that go. That wasn't working like it used to. And so I was just looking for something just to stay engaged. I think it's helpful, in my role with the community college, but I'm teaching those courses, if I'm contracted with somebody and doing something.
Okay. Yeah, so we've got one, they got really competitive pay, Equus does. And you definitely wouldn't be reporting to anybody. You just kind of, you're 1099 paid by the carriers. And I think we've got about 20 of them at this point that you can get contracted with some really, really good, retirement IUL and annuity stuff through F&G. And then we've got probably the most competitive company. Have you ever heard of Government Personnel Mutual, GPM? They're out of Texas, super small company.
No, I hadn't.
No, they are. Equus is our parent company. They're the IMO that we're a part of. The guy that bought them out found found GPM down in Texas, and we just kind of adopted them. They've created products that give Table 1 ratings to people that would typically be, much lower rated with any other carrier. And I think we're somewhere around 70% of their business at this point. So, they just kind of. But anyway, we have those really, really competitive products. And then on top of that, we have bonus structures and all that kind of stuff. But the carriers themselves pay you directly. And then, as far as we go, we're super hands off unless you just need or want stuff from us, especially in your situation.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I used to work against, quotas and having to report, activity and stuff like that. I was just thinking of a situation where I could pick up business as I could. If I had a slow week or slow month, it was okay. If I had a good month or good month, or a quick, or a full month, that was okay too.
Yeah, and typically like the only quotas that they have in general is if you're purchasing brand new A leads and you're considered a preferred agent. They just require that you keep a 30% close, and that's only because they want to make sure that they lose money on the leads that they're selling. So they want to make sure if they're mailing out for you in an area as a preferred agent that they're not losing money on it. But other than that, there's zero quotas for anything.
Right.
And then especially in your area, the reason we're kind of advertising up there is I've got a full-time agent up in that area that he's working from Onslow all the way down to Calabash area, and just the area itself is kind of beating him up. So we're just trying to get him some relief, so you're able to work kind of close to where you're at. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You know most about this business. Do you have any questions?
Equus. I know there's a lot of IMOs out there. I know that there's Equus and there's the Leisure Group up in Raleigh, and there's another one that come to mind. I think it's probably pretty straightforward. You have leads that you have to offer, and there are different classifications, A, B, C leads, and that sort of thing, and they cost different amounts. I guess probably for the how new the lead is, and
yep, and also if it's a mortgage protection versus a final expense.
Okay. Okay. Do you have a website I could look at, or
yep? So you can go to you can Google Equus Financial.
Okay.
And then you can go to our personal website, which is My Millennial, MILLENNIUL.com. Usually, more often than not, the success you have relies heavily on the people you are directly under. In this case, it would be us. The training that your upline offers, their ability to put leads into your hands to get you up and running. And then on top of having that, the products that you have to offer. So a lot of the ones that you mentioned, and on top of it, others, they all have the exact same carriers, and we have them as well as Americo, Mutual of Omaha, Transamerica. Everybody has those. But the silver bullet for us is the GPM product, because our ability to get a 70-year-old term life insurance for less than what they're going to pay for a final expense product in the mortgage protection world is amazing, which that product specifically for us, on top of a UL product that really gives them mortgage protection options that they've never had before. So, the way we try to set ourselves apart, one is the agency that we're trying to build within the Equus agency is one that allows you to get quick and easy training with leads. And if you ever choose to build your own little agency, I kind of help handle that for you, as opposed to you trying to make some sales, do your full-time job, and grow a way to make passive income. We take that on for you, so you don't have to worry about it. And so on and so forth. And then having that Equus, a GPM product through Equus is just, we're constantly bringing people over from other IMOs because of those products.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you can check out those two websites.
I'm sorry, that was what was it?
Millennial. So it's Millennial, but with an IUL at the end. MILLENNIUL.
Oh, My Millennial with a UL on the end.
Yep. So that's going to be our personal agency website. And then the Equus would be the IMO that we're partnered with.
That's .com, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm Millennial.
Yep, I'm still that's about 90% there. I'm continuing to work on that site.
MIMELLINIUL, is that what you said?
Yes. Is this your cell phone that I'm talking to now? I can text it to you.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'd be interested in looking at that. You said you're affiliated with Equus Financial.
Yep, that's the IMO.
Okay, I had some a class a couple of years ago. I had some folks who were talking to me about wanting to work with Equus Financial. I'm not really sure what happened with it. That was like 2 or 3 years ago. You offer primarily life insurance. You offer supplemental coverages like disability or anything like that.
We have through Mutual of Omaha, we have some of those products, but that is not a focus of ours. But you can certainly go that route if you want to get your health license. Most of the people that are kind of in that world have moved past it just because of the difficulties with working with the government and stuff. or the whatever the stipulations that they have on it and all that kind of stuff, and because of the money that you're able to make off of the leads here with the life insurance income, that's just kind of the way they tend to go.
Okay.
I text that to you. Did you get the text?
Just a second. Let me check and see. Yes, I got the text. This phone's pulling up the website.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so basically the way I've developed that website is it picks up right where if you were to get, you're already licensed, so you would pick up at the new agent training, and you can kind of go through there and kind of see what's available there. And then we're putting more and more stuff up as far as the back end training goes, for the carriers and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. If you have new agents in the area that need to get licensed, you can tell them about the community college. We run the courses like 2 weeks, and we get them up and running pretty quickly.
Okay, awesome.
Cape Fear Community College here in Wilmington. So.
Yeah, I definitely will for sure. Yeah, and if anybody you think that would do well needs a job, feel free to send them my way. I'll talk to them.
Well, I will do that, and that's one thing that I keep an eye out for is students coming to the class and they ask me if I know about local entities, IMOs or situations like that where they might work. They come in, some of them they know what they're doing, some of them they come in sort of a vague idea that they want to go into insurance. So. Yeah,
and we don't promise the moon like a lot of these people do. We kind of presented it in a real fashion, what they can really expect. And we tend to not oversaturate an area. We only look for 2 or 3 good people in one area, so they're not having to drive 10 hours away or catch planes to get leads.
Well, and that's important. They ask me specific questions about what it's like to do the work, and I know that some situations work a little bit better than others, and I try to stay out of comparing one to the other. But we do talk about things like the driving time and that sort of thing, and that's a definite plus. So that's something I could certainly talk to them about next time we run that class. We run the life class. I think we just did the life class. We'll do the health class next, but we'll do a life class pretty quickly after that. The tape, I don't have it from it, but the Cape Fear Community College website should tell the whole story about when things are coming up.
Yeah, I'll put a note on there to look at that, and we'll send people your way.
But I'll take a look at your website, and I'll just get back in touch with you if that's okay.
Yeah, store this number. This is my cell, and any questions you have in the meantime as you're looking or comparing, feel free to give me a call.
Okay, and I'm sorry again. Your name was
Brian.
Brian. Okay. Okay. Well, let me check that out, and I appreciate your call this morning.
Yes, sir. You have a good day. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Okay, so that guy, I just have to give space. He would be a good pickup. He's well connected he's an instructor for life insurance. So, that's kind of the first I've had for that, but he's already licensed. He could get up and running quick, doesn't need full-time money, already knows what he's doing, wouldn't take a lot of training. Some guy that I never would have come across had I not put an ad out. I've had a fair amount of experience with giving people the space on this job when they're that involved and they know what's going on. In the insurance world, you kind of want to just give them space, let them think, and, let them know what we do differently than any other IMO, because we're not the only game in town, but we are the only game in town with GPM, and we are the only game in town that has the training system, both with Equus and with what we're developing. So, I just let them know that we're not sending people on goose chases, that we've got leads in an area that they're at, and so on and so forth. And then I just kind of make brief notes. He's not nearly as detailed. And I'll put him in a stack where I have as kind of like a pending stack of leads. And then I'll store his number with little notes so that when he calls, I'll remember who he was. Life instructor at Cape I've got one more lined up at 10:45. This will be an interesting one. He's got a big social media background, so I'll kind of approach him in a different way. Maybe even tell him that he's going to be able to, with this, he can generate his own leads. Works at a auto parts store. Any questions on that one? So I think what I'll do while I wait for this one is I will add the ICA that we just had signed up for that guy in here so he can go ahead and get his license. So to do that, you go over to myequusfinancial.com, scroll down on the left-hand side after you log in, and click Add New Agent under My Agency. User role, I always put him as an agent, not a non-licensed agent. And their contract level is going to be CL1. Almost everybody you do is going to be contract level 1. That's very important. All right, so now I got him entered into the Equus system. So after I do that, I'll shoot them a text. So I'll shoot him a text, let him know that he's in the system, to be on the lookout, that it was nice talking to him, that I'm excited. So I'll mention it by name. Great talking with you. I'm super excited. And I tell him to let me know when he signs it, and that I'll get him over the code for the class right after. The reason is the code for the class is, just something that we can have, and we just want to make sure they sign the ICA. If they do the class and never sign the ICA, then, they're not really ours. That's just kind of a way of solidifying that they're under you, is that they sign that ICA. So I just text him and let him know that. A couple more minutes and we have one more to call. And again, this seems kind of slow, but generally, if I wasn't doing it this way, I'd have them lined up a lot closer together and a lot, just a lot more. So I'd be hitting the phone a lot. And I have a pending stack, like the guy that we just spoke to. I'll put him in a pending stack so that I can keep track of it when they call me. Because when you're calling on 10, 15, 20 different people, it's easy to lose track of who's who. You want to make notes in it and make sure that you can easily recall who they are when they call you back. And then after you put them in the ICA, you can save those, or you can throw them away. I tend to hold on to them for a couple weeks, and then I'll throw them away. All right, a couple more minutes and I'll call him a little bit early. That way we can all get on the Equus call. All right, I'm going to go ahead and call him, and then that'll be our last one for the day. Hello?
Hey, who's this?
Hey, this is Brian Nicely. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. I'm just calling about the insurance job you applied for, put your resume in for.
Yeah.
You guys hunkered down?
Yeah, a little bit. Just trying to take it day by day.
Yeah,
How
are
you?
You still going into work, or are you, they closed
I
you
was
down?
actually laid off from my job.
Because of this?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
How long did you work there for?
About 3 years.
Oh, wow.
But they started laying off contracted employees first. So that included me.
Hey, that's no good. What were you doing there? You're doing their social media?
I was doing their SEO, their search engine optimization for their clients. So basically web page building, and I also managed their blog.
Dang, did you have good success with that?
We did. We had, I think, when I left, 36 clients, and I had about 10.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a pretty small team.
Yeah, that's not bad. Is that your background, or you just kind of fell into that?
A little of both. I actually started with going for business, and then I switched to communication studies, and I found out about that job doing their blog work, because they have about 35, 36 blogs that they use for different purposes. And someone went on vacation and never came back from the SEO team. And I knew a little bit about it because I filled in, and they just kind of brought me onto the team, and I actually took over that position part-time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I had about clients of my own, and I did their blog strategy, and I also built web pages for them.
So what's got you wanting to switch to insurance?
I know someone that does insurance, and he said, hey, there's not really a whole lot of jobs out there right now, but a few people with his company were looking for people, and I applied for his, but I just didn't have, the right qualifications and everything. And I found this one online, and it just seemed pretty interesting.
Okay. What kind of qualifications did you need for his?
You needed the certification or the license, I believe.
Yeah.
And he wanted at least 5 years experience. I believe his company was Aflac.
Oh, yeah. That's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with this one, you still have to have your life license, but we can get you your license for $25 through the class. And it's a good time to be going through a class. Because ain't much to do. But so let me ask you just a few quick questions. Do you have any felonies?
No.
You looking for more of a full-time or a part-time situation?
Part-time for now. I graduate the beginning of next month, so it's not too much longer, but I probably would be looking for full-time after that.
Okay. Have you ever would you have considered yourself self-employed at that last job, or have you ever been self-employed?
To an extent, it was self-employed because I had to submit everything and keep my own records. But as far as everything else, no.
Okay. And are you okay getting paid on a commission basis?
Possibly. I've never had that before, so I'd have to look it over.
Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about what we do. So our agency is the Millennial Agency. We are partnered with our parent company called Equus Financial. Equus Financial is what's considered an IMO, an independent marketing organization. What they do is they mail out to every new mortgage that's taken out, either it's a refinance or somebody just moved into an area, or they mail out to seniors 55 and older that might need some final expense coverage. Those people fill out the forms and they mail them back to us, and then that becomes what's called a lead. We then dial on the leads. Typically, if you take out COVID-19, typically what we do is we call them up. Hey, we're a field underwriter in your area responding to your request. What time works well for us to come out there and talk on Monday? So then as a field underwriter, we would go to their home, sit down with them, go over their coverage options, figure out why they filled out the form, so on and so forth, and then help find the best policy that fits their needs. Post COVID-19, what we're doing now is the insurance carriers are allowing us to do this process over Zoom or FaceTime or over the phone instead of having to go out to their house. We don't know how long that's going to be available, but that's where we're at right now. So most of us have not missed a beat. Some of us are actually doing better now than we ever were, just because you don't have to make the drive out to see people. The hurdle is getting into somebody's home. This hurdle is helping somebody figure out how to download Zoom. So the situation's ever changing, but it's probably better now than it ever has been, just because insurance is on people's minds. We don't just sell death insurance. We sell full coverage living benefits policies, meaning that you don't have to die for you to get the policy. If you have a heart attack, a stroke, or cancer, that you can access your policy's premium or payments, whatever, your policy's money to help pay those bills. Most people don't know those policies exist. So us informing them usually it's a pretty good thing. People typically will purchase. Our close rate is 60-65% in an area. So that's kind of how this works. But on the other side of it, you're technically opening up your own insurance agency. And with your background in SEO and stuff, you can set up your own your own business, the Sims agency, whatever you want to call it, and drive traffic your way, as well as having leads that you can get from us or wherever to call on. The average policy sale we make is about $500 to $1,000 per sale. And then we have people that make anywhere between $1,500 a week part-time on up to $250,000, $300,000 a year in the sales side of this game.
Mm-hmm.
So that's essentially what we do. Do you have any questions on it?
As far as leads, like how many leads do you get a week or a month?
So when we get you started off with older leads, tips, strictly because we can't blow through the newer leads on somebody that's training. We want you to cut your chops on some of these older leads, and you'll have them, 50, 100, 200, 300 of these leads that you can work through, just trying to learn the phone script, learn, the multiple phases that you have to learn in the job. We help hold your hand through it. We've got a website that helps you train through that, as well as, calling me and all that kind of stuff. But we give you plenty to get active on so that you can start failing quickly. And then after that, what we suggest is 10 new leads a week. And that's going to net you anywhere between $3,000 to $5,000 a week. And those numbers are the numbers across the nation. They've always been the numbers. As long as you do the activity, buy the leads, that's what you make.
Okay.
And that's before factoring in, on our end, on our agency end, we're working on online leads and doing stuff like that on our own. That's before you factor in that kind of stuff, rather than only relying on mailers. If you're on your own end, developing your own SEO, your own back-end support, you can make your agency grow even larger.
Yeah.
The other aspect of this business, and the part that I'm most passionate about, is the passive income side of it. The insurance companies are the ones that pay you. You've heard of some of them: Transamerica, Gerber, Mutual of Omaha. You've heard of those guys. Some of them you haven't. But they are just as large as these other ones, as far as they've got billions in the bank. They're A-rated companies, but they don't do their advertising through TV or mailers. They rely on field underwriters like us to go into homes and push their products. Not push is the wrong word, but offer their products to them. So they pay you for a commission for it. You don't get paid by Equus. You don't get paid by us. You get paid by the insurance companies for helping distribute their products. Now, if you choose to build an agency, meaning if you say, hey, I got a couple buddies that just got laid off, they'd be good at this. If you help get them started, let me help you train them. The insurance companies pay you for every policy they sell because they brought you into the business, or you brought them into the business. So you can build a large passive income. I mean, we've got people that make millions a year doing this passively, without having to work or sell, because the power in what's there. So if you've got yourself a good agency and times get tough, you've got support there to help, pay income and that kind of stuff. So the power in this business and the profitability and the amount of ways to make money are pretty much unlike any other business out there.
Mm-hmm.
What other questions you got?
Don't think there really was anything else. What kind of area would I be looking at? Is it strictly only Wilmington, or how far does that go?
Now, the area is 100% up to you. The reason I'm in Wilmington right now, advertising in Wilmington, is that I've got a full-time agent up there that needs some help. He's covering from Jacksonville down to Calabash. And the areas, he's just gotten too much work. It's become too much for him. So he's wanting to get some help. So part-timer right now especially is good, because we can put you in a local area. The furthest north you would go would be Onslow County, furthest south Calabash, but we could probably narrow it down even more so than that, to get you working pretty local.
Okay.
You have any other questions?
Would I strictly only be, like, say if I moved, relocated to another city, would that be okay? Or would I have to go through?
Yeah. So the thing you got to keep in mind is you work for yourself. This is your business. Now I'm here to help train you, and it's my job to make sure you stay profitable. But it's your world. You can create it. We've got leads across the country, from in Hawaii, all 50 states for the most part. So wherever you go, you can do this business.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's one of the biggest reasons I got into this field is because I can take it and go anywhere. I've sold in, Florida, Virginia. If you just want to go vacation somewhere for 3 weeks, you can get your license in Colorado, pick up some leads in Colorado, make some money while you're on vacation. To get your reciprocal license generally is $100 or less with each state. So it's super mobile, and you can go wherever, sell whenever.
Okay. Do you see it going back to trying to get into people's homes, or do you see it staying kind of remote, or a mix of both?
I'm completely guessing, but if I had to guess, it would be a 50-50. I think some carriers are going to ask us to go back into homes, while others are going to allow us to do it remotely.
Okay. I think that's about everything I had to ask.
All right. So do you feel like it's something you're interested in, or?
Very, yeah.
Okay. Do you want to get started in the class? It's online.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. So the process, the way it works is I put you into the Equus system. What that does is it generates what's called an ICA, which is an independent contractor agreement. All that agreement says is, for the most part, that you own your business that you're selling, the clients, the agency that you build. The Equus just asks for 30 days notice if you are leaving, which is far different than any other IMO that's out there. Most of them will say that everything you do is the company's, not yours. This is extremely different. So you sign that, basically just saying you own your business. That generates what's called your EF number, which is your Equus number. After I get that, I can send you over the code. Send you over the code for the class. I think it's $25 right now. You can take your class. We try to tell people to get it done in a week or two. You're just trying to memorize the questions. You're not trying to learn them, because you're not going to use any of this information in the field. It's really just the state covering their butts. Trying to get through that in a week or two, and then we get you licensed with each carrier. So hopefully we get you done in 3 to 4 weeks. The big thing will be when the testing center opens back up to take your state test. But considering maybe the beginning of May, you should be licensed and selling by mid-May. But in the meantime, once you get through your class, we can get you making some dials so you can call on some leads for other agents and get paid based off of the appointments you set. So we can get you working and training and making some money while you wait for all this stuff to come back from the state.
Okay. So what does the pay plan look like? Is it strictly commission, or is it a mix of commission and hourly, or is it per appointment?
Straight commission.
Okay.
And the reason we do it that way is because it allows for you to make a lot more money per sale while taking the load off of somebody having to pay you hourly. So if you look at it in terms of, okay, I'm opening an insurance agency, that's what you're doing. Do I want to pay anybody I bring hourly, or would I rather them make more off of the sales based on their effort?
Okay.
That sound good?
Yes, it does.
All right. Let me